Hey, Roswell. I wanted to have maybe a little bit less of a pastoral update as maybe a pastoral conversation. This past week, we've launched a couple of community groups, and we're about to launch another one, which is pretty crazy in the midst of COVID, right? But one of the things it reminded me of is I sat around a group of people who are trying to form new relationships and are leaning in towards trying to belong to God and to one another. One of the things it reminded me of is how good it is to be together and just how powerful it is, and frankly, how weird it is in light of what the last 6 months have looked like. And that brought to mind something that I think that's pretty important for us to be thinking about. And maybe we haven't thought about it much because we've gotten kind of used to a new normal. And that is, what is the difference and what are the dynamics at play with live church versus online church? And I just wanted to say just a couple things. One, I wanted to just re-extend an invitation to you. I understand there are some of you that it is not possible for you to be live in the building at this point because of medical issues or concerns. Totally makes sense, and you need to continue to take care of yourself, no doubt about it. But for some of us, like, we've begun to re-socialize. We've gone to parties, we've gone out and had dinner with friends, and yet maybe we've gotten into like a little bit of a habit of like, we're not just going to not go to church anymore. We'll just do church in our pajamas at home. And but that's been a real gift of what we've been able to do. And of course, we're going to continue doing online services. But there is something fundamentally different about being in the room with the people of God and worshiping and taking communion and even hearing the word of God and seeing the other people that are part of our community. That is fundamentally different. And so if you're one of the people that actually is just like, it's just kind of gotten out of the habit, like it's just, you kind of lost track and now you do church sometimes online and sometimes maybe not, I just want to re-invite you. I want to maybe, as we've done, re-enchant you a little bit with the beauty and the power of the community of God. When we gather, when we sing, when we hear from one another, see each other, get to go outside afterwards, take out our masks and be able to have conversations together. It matters. And so some of you, I want to just re-invite you. It may be time for you to step in. We're taking all the precautions still. Everything's wise and discerning and safe and clean. But it's time for you to return. And so I just want to invite you back in if that's you, if that's where you're at. Even if, let's say you're a family. We've had several families where one adult has come at different times. It's been 6 months for some of us since we've been in this room. And you may have lost traction, not just with the community, but maybe some of you have lost traction with like your spiritual life with God. And there's nothing like being reminded by being with the people of God about what matters to us as His children. So that's a re-invitation to you. If you want to come, maybe step in, see what God might have for you in the coming weeks. So you're welcome. And of course, register if you're coming. We'd love to have you. We got room, so we'll make it happen. But for those of you that aren't able to come or aren't going to be able to come consistently because of having young children, and obviously the masks thing is a real challenge, and we get it. I want to also say something to you because I think there's something really important about understanding the dynamics that play themselves out in us as people when we watch a service on a screen. Like, let's be really candid. When we turn on our televisions or put on our computers, like our mind automatically shifts to something really different. Like we're looking to be entertained, we're looking to be taken somewhere, and maybe we're not actually thinking about being a participant. And you know, in the first and early days, everything was kind of fresh and new, but for most of us, we've kind of gotten used to this new normal. And I just want to let you know, one, like a service and church itself it's not a product to be consumed, right? It's a community to be a part of. And you get to be a participant in this thing that we call Roswell Community Church that God's given you. And so I invite you to potentially, maybe this is not you, but if this is you, to shift from maybe consuming, which means you're maybe more critical, maybe like, oh, well, those vocals weren't the way I thought they should be, or those instruments didn't play the way we should. You see, now we've moved into like consuming a product, like how well is that show going? Instead of, I'm participating with the people of God to receive what He has for me through His people, including those that are serving and those that are loving you. So that's an invitation to you. Check your heart. Honestly, I think it requires a different kind of preparation. You might need to prepare differently for online church at home than you do coming here on a Sunday morning, right? You get distracted when you drive here with your little kids screaming in the back seat and you have to take them over to kids group. That's a thing, right? But boy, it's a whole different thing to try and be in your living room and to just like take in the service and then like go on with your day. When God has something different for us and why we gather. Church isn't the only, Sunday morning church services are not the only thing that make up church in any way, shape, or form. No. but it is a central and key part of what connects us to one another and gives us a sense of unity and togetherness and momentum as a people. And I just want to call you back into that as we've kind of kicked off a new year and school's kind of beginning and some of the routines and new norms, like what kind of norm is God inviting you into with the rhythm of being a part of God's church community on Sunday? So you're loved. I'm for you. We're for you. We're praying for you. So let us continue to lean into what God has for us at Roswell. You're loved. I'll see you on Sunday.